biggest question I get about Tall Tales is always, where do I begin? Which is a fair question. There's a lot of things going on in Tall Tales. There's a number of different blogs. There's all these different story arcs, and it's not always clear how they're connected. And so for the longest time, I would just tell people, pick a place, like pick a blog, start at the beginning of that blog, and just follow the threads that appear, follow characters that cross over blogs, follow story arcs that cross over blogs, look for information on other blogs. But I had to admit eventually that was somewhat irresponsible on my part, and that I actually needed to come up with a system. The most natural one, the one that my wife feels that everyone should go with, if I'm honest, is to start and just at the beginning and just read in publication order. Start with the Venusberg, and then start reading Land of Goshen, and then when the Benediction blog starts up in April of 2019, start hopping back and forth between that and the narrator, and just go through and read each post in the order that it was published. And there are two problems with this. One is that it breaks up stories in a way that isn't natural, and two is that the publication order is somewhat artificial in that we went back. The blog wasn't originally set up with the actual publication dates on the posts. It was set up with the timestamps matching the events, and so when I went back and changed it, I kind of had to guess what day some of them were published. So it's somewhat artificial, but that method is fine. I published them in that order. It's readable in that order. But I decided it was time to sit down and figure out an order that I think tells the story in the way that I want it told. So what you find here on this page is going to be a little bit of a description of what you're dealing with, what it is that you're looking at, where you're going to go, and a link to the very first post that starts the whole story off on this different sequence. And that post is The Spanish Swordsman. Now, like I said, there are other valid options. You can start just about anywhere. You can go publication order, you can go chronological order if you want. I'm going to be putting a timeline on the wiki soon to help with that. But this system is going to be kind of my reader's version. This is the way that I would like to read it if I were just coming at it myself and just thinking through when the information is revealed and who appears when and all this other stuff. So there'll be a series of buttons on the bottom of each post that will help you navigate through. Within story arcs, I'm not going to change the buttons that exist there because the buttons there take you through the story arc. But I'll be adding buttons at the beginning and end of each story arc and at each one-shot story to help you navigate through in a sequence that I think works really well. So take a look at it. Hope you enjoy it. As always, I'm open to feedback. Thank you so much for reading Tall Tales. It means a lot to me.